I've had this new RG130 restoration grinder for a month now, and it has been a game changer in the shop and on the job site, and I'm gonna show you why. The RG130 comes in this sustainer, and one of the things I'll point out is it's a slightly wider sustainer than what I would call the standard size, but that allows it to hold the RG130 in addition to the 5 abrasive wheels that are available, all in one package, which is really handy. Let's look inside. So inside I currently have 1 abrasive wheel installed, and I also have a space for 3 others, and then I found that I could put the 5th one back here in the back. First thing I noticed was the handle is adjustable, which is really handy when you're using it, because sometimes you could be up against a wall and sometimes you're working at different angles. So it's really nice to be able to adjust the handle. The other thing that is included is what I would call a stop ring, and this goes on the bottom and is installed on a rotating slide that you can adjust exactly how deep you want the surface you're abrading or grinding, and how much of this you want to go onto the surface. So if you're on a delicate surface, this could stop you from overdoing it. The first time I used this, and I've used it with and without, and I think it's good that they have it where it's removable. Something else that I really like is the dust collection on this machine is amazing. And this spring-loaded brushes, when you're on the surface grinding, does a great job of keeping the dust and getting it out the back port. Something else that's really, really exciting, when I used it the other day, I needed to get up really close to where I was grinding, and this front actually lifts up and lets the cutting head go almost flush to the front of the machine. This has a high power brushless motor that is super quiet and very balanced. When I'm using it on grinding concrete, for example, I can pretty much hold it with one hand, and it's super stable. And it's really easy to control as well. The brushless motor stays cool and doesn't overheat. Has Bluetooth built into it so it can work with a dust collector. Festool recommends using the 38 or the 48 dust collector, the same one that's used with the Planex. Okay, let's talk about the 5 available heads and what they are for. It's really handy, even on the top of the container. It shows each one and it shows what it is used for. So like the blue one, it shows for adhesives, like glue adhesives, like where a floor was troweled down. And then you can use the gold one, which I currently have installed on like a slab. If you're trying to aggressively get something on wood, like a high place on floor, it'd be kind of the equivalent, I would say, of like 10 or 20 grit sandpaper. So it's like where normally I would use my RO150 sander, I could use this instead and then move from this to the 150. So it does have a place for wood as well. And then there's 3 levels of diamond heads that you can go on for doing like concrete slabs. And there's different levels of aggressiveness on this. For changing the abrasive heads, all you do is push the green button on the back to lock it in, and you use the included spanner wrench to basically loosen up this washer, tighten it back down. Super easy to change as needed. Also, there isn't a variable speed adjustment on the back, which currently I've only used it at the high speed because I didn't think about that being an option of slowing it down. But I could see how when you were using it with, like, say this one for removing glues and adhesives, I would think you'd want to slow it down so you didn't heat up the glue. Also included in the container are some handy Velcro straps, which allows you to attach the dedicated power cord to the vac hose. Makes it easier to manage. I recently pulled this out and put it to use on a concrete slab that had a high spot on each side and the garage door was not shutting flat. I pulled it out, and on each side, I grinded about 5-6 minutes. I grinded down about 3/8 of an inch across the slab and feathered off the high spot. And it was super easy to use, super stable. I used this one right here for grinding the concrete. And after using it for about 3 square feet of surface area, I'm not seeing any kind of visual wear on this. So I think these will last a very long time with the diamond tips on them. One of the worst jobs I find myself doing sometimes is when I tear out a tile floor or a floor that has been glued, either troweled with glue or it has thin set mortar under it. When you remove those, you're left with ridges all over a floor, and you can scrape it, you can use a chipping blade on it. There's all kinds of things you can do, but it's just a messy and awful situation. This machine has the ability to grind those down quickly and also mess free because you have it connected to a dust collect system. And I cannot wait to have a job to do that with, because this is going to make it actually maybe fun. I think for anyone in the construction renovation industry, this is a must-have tool, and it definitely has earned a place in my van. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any more questions.